Hey everyone, Zach here with Rigid Inspections. Today I'm going to show you what I look for when inspecting the outdoor component that houses the condenser and compressor for the air conditioning system. One of the first things I'm going to do is note the location. This one is on the south side of the house, and I'll note that in the report just for reference. Next, what I usually do is I'll come over, I'll find the manufacturer's label, which is right here. I'll pull the serial number and model number off of it so that I can get like a year. This one happens to be a 2014, so fairly new. It's only 3 years old. Next, I'll note the brand. International Comfort Products is the manufacturer, so I'll write that down in the report for reference. And lastly, off of here is I'll pull the max fuse or max breaker rating. This one here is 25 amps. So when I go inside to inspect the electrical panel, I'm going to look for that breaker or fuse and make sure that it's no more than 25 amps. If it's 30 amps, 40 amps, whatever, any more than 25, I'm going to recommend that breaker or fuse be replaced with a properly sized one. Next thing I'll do is I'll kind of check out the outside of the unit, make sure it's not rusted out anywhere. This one, like I said, it's fairly new, it's in good condition. I'll check the condenser fins, make sure that they're not bent or full of debris. This one looks pretty good. The backside here, it's got some debris in it. I'd recommend getting that cleaned. Air needs to be able to flow through these fins without any obstruction so that the unit can operate efficiently. So if the fins are bent or dirty, that's going to restrict airflow and the unit's not going to run as efficient. One thing I do want to note is that I do not recommend using a pressure washer to clean the fins because that could bend them and damage them even more. So if you do decide to use a pressure washer, just be very careful that you're not going to damage the fins even more and cause bigger issue with that. Another thing I'll do is I'll make sure the unit's level. This one here is pretty level. The reason the unit needs to be level is because refrigerant is going through the system with lubricating oil. And when the condenser is not level, the oil can separate and the compressor could operate without proper lubrication, which is bad. It'd be like a motor running without oil. So the unit's not level, that could, down the line cause some expensive repairs. So I'll note, in the report if the unit's not level to have it re-leveled. Another thing I'll look for is proper air clearance and airflow. This one is kind of tucked in the corner, but it's not bad. It's still getting airflow from the side here. And it's kind of sticking out a little bit, so I'm not going to say anything about it. It's fine as far as airflow goes. The one thing I will mention though is that it's sitting kind of low, and then after a rainfall or during the winter when snow builds up, it could sit in this unit and start causing it to rust, or it could wash some of this dirt and stuff into the bottom of the unit. As you can see, it's kind of has already. If you go around the back here, you can see where some of the mud and dirt is kind of splattered all over it, just because it's so low to the ground and there's so much dirt and stuff around it. So that's something I would note. Maybe get it raised up off the ground a little bit more. Another thing I'm going to look for is this refrigerant line here, making sure that there's insulation around it. This is the line that's carrying the cold, low pressure refrigerant from the inside of the house to the outside of the house. So it's a good idea to make sure there's insulation around it so that, to help prevent condensation on the line, and also to help prevent it from picking up additional heat outside. Because the warmer that refrigerant is going into the compressor, the harder that compressor is going to have to work, and so that's going to be another inefficiency for the unit. So like I said, good idea to have insulation around this line. Next thing I'll look for is an outside disconnect, which is right there. good idea to have a disconnect outside so the unit can be shut off for maintenance and whatnot. So you can see inside here, there's a little hole. That's how you disconnect it. That's pretty much it as far as what I'm looking for. One last thing too is the caulking around the lines that are going into the house. You see here, there's a little bit of a gap there. I'd probably recommend some more caulk around it, just because you don't want moisture or air leakage or insects or anything coming into the house through that opening there. So good idea to have that recaulked. Well, that's pretty much it as far as inspecting it goes. This unit's in pretty good shape. Probably the only thing I would recommend is just have it raised off the ground a little bit more, and have those condenser fins on the back side of it there clean. Get that debris out of there so it can operate a little bit more efficiently. If you have any questions about anything I talked about here, or any comments or anything like that, just feel free to contact me, comment below, or send me an email, or give me a call, whatever works best for you.